How do you do? Gang violence has always been a problem in large cities, but gang activity is not limited to the big cities. Wherever people feel discrimination, they will band together for protection. And young people are especially vulnerable to the lure of gangs unless their hearts and minds and lives are unshackled. More than 100 miles upstate from New York City, a high school basketball game ended, and the crowds spilled out of the gym into the dark of the night. When most of the fans were gone, the police allowed a gang of students from the winning team to leave. A gang from the losing side was waiting.
Let's go!
Here they come, let's get them!
Come on, Donadio, over here!
I can't! I think my nose is broken!
Come on!
I can't fight anymore!
Okay, Donadio, get into the paddy wagon. We got you and your friends this time.
Unshackled, dramatizing true life stories and produced in Chicago by Pacific Garden Mission. It takes a special kind of person to care about the homeless. Most of us are busy doing our jobs, keeping up our homes, and putting food on the table. But some people do all those things and then go out of their way to help the ones who don't have the jobs or homes or food. The couple who started Pacific Garden Mission cared about the homeless. They opened their hearts when they opened the doors more than 100 years ago. And since then, folks who care have kept the doors open. People who come in from the streets need shelter, food, and clothing. Sometimes they need medical and dental care as well, and all of these are provided free. The mission has facilities for men, for women, and for women with children. In addition to their physical needs, the homeless suffer emotionally and spiritually. But again, special people at the mission offer counseling that helps restore hope and leads to a new life. And now for broadcast around the earth, here is program number 2114 in the series Unshackled. We tend to see gang activity as rebellion against authority, but young people join gangs for many reasons, sometimes for protection, or because their friends belong, or even just to be a part of something. The gang meets a need. The man in our story thought that gang membership gave him respect, at least for a while. He didn't realize that getting into a gang was much easier than getting out. This is Patrick Donadio's true story.
I'm Patrick Donadio, and in case you haven't figured it out, I'm Italian. All my grandparents came from Italy and settled in Schenectady in a ghetto called Hungry Hill. Italians are proud of their heritage, and no one was more proud than my grandfather.
So who's calling you a wop, huh? Some dumb kid at school? Well, you don't pay him no mind, Patrick. Italians are the greatest people in the world. Who discovered America, huh? An Italian, Christopher Columbus. And now you be a good boy and be glad that you're Italian.
If national ties are strong to Italians, family ties are even stronger. Loyalty to the family is everything. I learned that lesson when I was 11. An older kid beat up on my brother, and instead of helping him, I watched. My father was furious.
Don't you ever stand by and watch your brother get beat up again. Blood is thicker than water. You get in there and help your brother, no questions asked.
Some fathers discipline their sons by beating them. No wonder we were angry and rebellious. Even as a child, my anger surged. Once I deliberately broke Dad's favorite record and then hid the broken pieces hoping no one would notice. Dad whipped my brother and sister and me until I finally confessed, and then he beat me some more. In spite of the whippings, I knew my father loved me. We always went to church and would have a peaceful home except for my rebelliousness. But I wasn't alone. Some of my friends were beaten by their fathers too. One day my friend Bobby wanted revenge for the beating his father gave him, and I watched in horror as he took a nail and gouged a deep scratch all the way around his dad's new car. I was scared and went home. A while later, Bobby's dad stormed up to our door and accused me of doing the damage. My friend had lied to save himself. And as my father took off his belt, I backed away saying, "I didn't do it, Dad."
I can never believe you, you liar! Go ahead, run! Longer you run, longer you're gonna get it! Yeah, you're gonna regret this, Patrick! I'll teach you!
For more than 10 minutes, Dad lashed me until Mother finally made him stop. I was covered with cuts and bruises, and one eye was swollen shut. As I stood sobbing in the bathroom trying to clean up the blood, I fought a raging desire to fight back. That battle between good and evil in me was taking a new turn. I decided to join the Rubes, one of the roughest gangs at school. I wanted to be a leader, so I endured the initiation without complaint. The weeks of pain, humiliation, and fear. I was in, and I learned fast. We terrorized the teachers to show that we ran the junior high. The gang even tried to hang one teacher who crossed us. Not all the teachers were wimps, though. My 8th grade science teacher beat the stuffing out of me after I punched him in the mouth. But then, he was Italian too. One day, a gang member complained about a teacher who had punished his brother. The gang wanted revenge. I suggested we talk with him after school. While the rest of the gang watched from a distance, 4 of us followed him as he walked home.
He knows we're following him.
Yeah, we better make our move.
Hey, Teach, we want to talk to you.
Who do you think you're trying to scare? You're just punks.
Now, wait a minute. I just want to talk.
Oh, yeah?
Hey, we don't want no trouble here.
So you think you can fight me, huh? Come on. Hey!
The entire gang attacked that teacher, tearing off his clothes and viciously beating him. When we were finished, he lay there bleeding with his broken glasses beside him. I came to my senses, and a wave of guilt flooded me. But sirens were approaching, so we scattered and ran. The next day, I went to school as usual, but the principal met me at the front door.
Donadio, get out of here and never come back. As long as I'm here, you'll never be a student at this school. You're going to court for what you did to Wendell. Now go home and tell your dad before the police tell him first. And take this summons with you.
What are you doing home, Patrick? Are you in trouble at school this early in the morning?
Patrick, what are you doing home?
Speak up.
It's this way. There's been a little trouble at school. I was expelled. The teacher was beat up. I tried to stop it. Honest, Dad, I got a summons here from the Youth Aid Bureau.
I can't believe this, you stupid kid. You're grounded, and if you ever even try to leave the house, I'll break your neck.
Oh, Patrick, why do you do these things? I don't know what to do with you.
The judge knew what to do with me. He sentenced me to reform school for 1 year. That place was like a prison, and all the guards were women who would have made fullbacks on a football team. They never smiled. On my first day there, I talked back to one, and she dragged me into solitary confinement where I spent 5 days. I decided to obey the rules, and the rules were strict. No laughing, no nothing. After a year, I was released, and I vowed never to go back to prison. Somehow, I would change. But a strange thing happened. My gang friends thought that I was a hero, and everything I learned at reform school was forgotten. I went back to my junior high, and the principal called me into his office.
It's only a few weeks until graduation.
You gonna let me finish?
Maybe. I know you're the leader and the other kids will do what you tell them, so I'll make you a deal. You keep your nose clean and don't cause any trouble, and I'll see to it that you graduate. I
kept that bargain because I wanted to go to high school. Not to learn anything. and not to be a football star. I wanted to go down in history as the greatest gang leader who ever strutted down the halls of high school. The high school principal was scared of our gang, and we quickly took over. We started with harmless pranks, but we moved on to more daring and dangerous stuff, like stealing cars and selling the parts. Everything we did had a destructive purpose. We'd go to bars and hustle girls who already had dates. If the guys got mad, we had an excuse to fight. We ended up stealing cars, not for parts, but for kicks. We'd drive around wildly and then wreck the car. One night, I was in a stolen car with two friends when the police chased us. We stopped the car, jumped out, started running.
Stop, Ross, shoot!
You hit Peppy?
I'm all right. I just fell.
Let's hide in that garage.
I'm scared.
Shh.
I'll check that garage.
Oh, we've had it.
Shh, no. Get under this car. We lay under that car in the dirt and the darkness, and that cop's black shoes walked right beside my face. I was terrified. Terrified, but not of him. I knew my dad would kill me if he found out I was stealing. He had given me everything I needed, even a good car for my 16th birthday. But I seemed to be powerless to stop my evil doings.
Patrick was indeed powerless, but that was about to change. He'll continue his story in a moment. One of the highlights of our day is reading letters that come to us from our listening audience. Here is Dave Saulnier, Superintendent of Pacific Garden Mission, to share some excerpts with you.
All kinds of people listen to Unshackled, as you will see from these letters. This one says, I have been listening to Unshackled for some time now. I like your program and find it encouraging. I am 8 years old. I am in the 3rd grade.
And here's a letter that says, since working the midnight shift, I've come to know of your program. And no matter what I'm doing at 3:30 in the morning, I always stop to listen. It has been a great help in my spiritual walk with Christ.
This listener writes, your program Unshackled has reached my fiancée, who is currently in prison. In February of 1989, she was listening to her radio in her prison cell. She heard Unshackled and accepted Jesus as her personal Lord and Savior. A year and a half later, still in prison, she is bringing other inmates to Jesus Christ. She gets parole this year. She'll be leaving the prison a whole new person, thanks to Jesus.
And here's a short one. My wife and our 7 children listen to Unshackled every Saturday evening.
There are many more letters that we wish we had time to share. It was a real joy to receive and read them.
We hope that you'll write to us soon. We'd like to hear from you. Our address, Pacific Garden Mission, Chicago, Illinois, 60605.
Lying there in the dirt under that car, I said a silent prayer to a God I barely knew. If we get out of this, God, I'll never do anything wrong again. We listened as the cop slammed the garage door and said, nobody in there. We waited. At 4 a.m, we crawled out from under that car, shaking with fear and fatigue. But I didn't keep my promise to God. Not long after, we had the big gang fight after the basketball game. I was arrested and thrown in jail. When Dad came down to bail me out, he smashed me in the face saying, I should have raised pigs. In my heart, I agreed with him. My life was wildly out of control. In a few months, I had 6 major accidents. And each time, just before impact, I would cry silently, just save me this time. Then I would walk away from the wreckage and shrug. I still went to church with my parents, and I wanted what I heard, but there was no way. One day, I crossed the line at home.
I don't have any money, Patrick.
Come on, Ma, give me a buck, will you?
I don't have it.
You're lying. Everybody has a buck.
Patrick, I'm sorry.
For 2 cents, I'd like to...
What's wrong?
Nothing.
Oh, come on, hon. What's wrong?
Nothing.
Well, something's wrong. Are you going to tell me or not?
He tried to hit me.
Dad knocked me right through the glass door to the backyard. Glass shards left me cut and bleeding, but he kept coming. I ran to my car and sped away to my grandfather's.
Hey, what happened to you?
My father hit me.
Yeah. Come to the bathroom. I'll clean you up. Man, this time he's gone too far. Here, hold the peroxide. Hello. His jaw is swollen like a balloon. He tried to hit his mother? He should have you locked up.
He didn't realize I was locked up, bound by a force I didn't understand. My mother was broken. She was unable to make decisions or control her emotions. At night, I could hear her weeping, and my father trying to comfort her. They both had dark circles under their eyes. My brother avoided me. I had become what the Italians call bad blood. I didn't go to church. Sometimes I didn't even go home. But one Sunday morning I went home, and there were two strangers having breakfast with Mom and Dad. Mom introduced them, saying he was the president of a Bible college.
Are you going to church with us, Pat?
I'm going hunt with some friends this weekend.
Oh. What about church this evening?
I'll probably be back in time.
Yes, Patrick, I think you should stay home and go to church.
Don't worry about me, sir. I'll be all right.
Jesus loves you, Patrick. He's the only one who can fill the emptiness in your heart. He came to give you life. He said in Matthew 11:28, "Come unto me, all ye that labor and are heavy laden, and I will give you rest." Also in John 8:12 he said, "I am the light of the world. He that followeth me shall not walk in darkness, but shall have the light of life."
Please stay home and go to church with us.
No, I can't. Gotta go now. Bye, Mom.
Don't try to be nice, Patrick. You're just a Judas.
Oh, Mom, you don't mean that. But she did mean what she said, and it cut me. I grabbed my rifle and fled. Pepe and 3 other friends were waiting outside in a car. We guzzled a case of beer as we drove to a fancy resort area where we planned to burglarize some homes. Snow covered the ground, so we figured most of the people were gone. We found a large chalet, and when we were sure no one was home, I shut off the lock. We filled our bags with silver and guns and anything else of value. I was the last one to leave the house, and as I headed for the car with my bag, a rifle bullet shattered the silence and tore through my leg. Another bullet spun me around before I fell.
What happened? I'm shot. You gotta help me. I can't walk.
Oh, no.
Come on, move it. We gotta get out of here. Oh, no, just our luck. The bulls! Donadio needs help. You better pull over, Cello. Stop, will you? Tell him we had a hunting accident.
I was bleeding badly and getting weak. The cops took me to an old retired doctor who gave me a shot and called an ambulance. I awoke in a world of whiteness. Unable to open my eyes, I listened to my father argue with a doctor.
You must face the fact that he might not make it. He's lost so much blood, and if by some miracle he does live, we'll have to amputate his leg.
Amputate?
I haven't seen bullet wounds like that since World War II. That leg is completely pulverized.
Oh, well, I won't tell his mother. We'll just pray for his complete recovery.
Dad!
Son, let me get your mother.
We have to get him into surgery.
We're praying for you, Patrick.
As they wheeled me into the operating room, I cried out desperately and silently to God, "Save me just this once more. I promise to serve you. I'll give up my old ways. Please have mercy on me. Please don't take my leg away. I awoke again, and the doctor was probing my leg. At least it was still there. Then the doctor left, and my father came and sat down beside me. He struggled to control his emotion as he told me the leg had to come off because gangrene had set in. This time I didn't cry out loud to God. For the first time, I judged myself and saw that I was getting what I deserved. I had tempted God too many times. The doctor came back in and began checking my leg again, squeezing, tapping, and kneading my leg like a loaf of bread dough.
I can't believe it, Mr. Donadio. This is truly a miracle. His circulation is restored. He may not have strength in his leg, and he may have to drag it, but there's hope.
Days turned into weeks as I lay in the hospital healing. I learned to wiggle my toes, flex my knee, and twist my foot. And as my strength came back, I didn't feel so desperate. I didn't feel so determined to reform. And I didn't want to remember my promise to God. But that promise didn't go away. When I got out of the hospital, I hobbled around on my crutches. And nearly every day I struggled down to my aunt's house a block away. She was once a rebel like me, but she had given her life to Christ, and I had to find out why. We talked for hours every day, and the battle between good and evil raged inside me. I was filled with anger.
You've got to find the Lord, Patrick.
What has he done for me anyway?
Oh, how can you say that? He has spared you again and again.
I don't want to hear about it. You say God talks to you, but that's a lot of baloney.
God talks to me sometimes when I pray and when I read my Bible.
That's a lot of guff, and I'll prove it. I'll read from the Bible, and I'll see if he talks to me. Okay, Lord, start talking. Psalm 50:17. Seeing thou hatest instruction, and castest my words behind thee, when thou sawest a thief, then thou consentedst with him, and hast been partaker with adulterers. God had called my bluff. He was speaking to me from his word, and he was speaking about me. Thou givest thy mouth to evil, and thy tongue frameth deceit. That was me. Thou sittest and speakest against thy brother. Thou slanderest thine own mother's son. These things hast thou done, and I kept silence. Thou thoughtest that I was altogether such a one as thyself, but I will reprove thee, and set them in order before thine eyes. Now consider this, ye that forget God, lest I tear you in pieces, and there be none to deliver. I couldn't stop the tears. I grabbed my crutches and hurried out the door. All the way home I kept saying, please, forgive me, Lord. Please, forgive me. I spent long hours alone in my room sulking, still fighting dark forces. One day, Mother asked me to go to a revival at church. I balked and refused, but then relented. Inside, I was longing to settle the issue. When the evangelist began preaching God's word, I began to perspire, and I braced myself for the altar call, unable to make a decision. 5 nights I did that. By the 6th night, the pressure was unbearable and something snapped. I raised my hand and then my body onto my crutches and hobbled down the aisle to the altar. I fell to my knees and began weeping. Forgive me, Lord. Come into my heart and forgive all the sins I've committed against you. After this, I was reminded of Jesus climbing up Calvary's hill with the cross on his back, and I sobbed uncontrollably. I'm not worth it, I cried. I'm not worth it. But he thought I was worth it. And since that day, I've committed my life to serving him. I finished Bible college, married a wonderful Christian woman, and we moved to Alaska as missionaries in remote outposts. Our 2 children were born there. God brought us through some tough years in Alaska, but we saw amazing victories as well. His grace was always sufficient. At the dedication of our first church built in Alaska, my father sat in the congregation. The brand new organ was a gift from my old friend Pepe, who came to Christ on one of my visits back home. Jesus is calling to you, too. Listen to him.
It's been more than 30 years since Patrick Donadio was freed from his bondage to darkness. And friend, you too can have the same freedom. Jesus broke the chains of guilt and shame when he died for our sins so that we could have new life in him. If you see yourself in these programs, you may want to get in touch with Pacific Garden Mission, Chicago, Illinois, 60605. The telephone number in Chicago, 312-922-1462. If you listen in the Philippines, you may address Unshackled in care of the Pacific Mission, Post Office Box 1467, Manila. We look forward to hearing from you, so please take time to write. And ask others to listen also. You might even let the manager of this station know that you appreciate Unshackled. This program is number 2114. Heard in the true story of Patrick Donadio were Rick Dianovsky, Judith Easton, Stephen Bayorgan, Jack Bivens, Bill Carey, and Larry Moran. Original music, Lucille Becker. Sound, Nick Aloisio. And I'm Bob O'Donnell. The script was written by Kenitha Gabler as she received it from Patrick Donadio. Unshackled is produced by Pacific Garden Mission to show, through true stories, that God's grace is sufficient for all. Write this week. Your letter is important to us, and please remember to write to the manager of the station to which you are listening. Our address is Pacific Garden Mission, Chicago, Illinois, 60605. You may call Pacific Garden Mission and talk with someone who cares about your situation. Area 312-922-1462. Someone is waiting for your call. That's 312-922-1462.